Hey! Alright, so, I have with me some Dr. Pepper. Gonna have some right now. I had some pizza earlier. All I really need is some sunglasses to wear indoors. And that's probably the perfect climate to play a mid to late 90s video game in. But sadly, I do not have any of those on hand, so we're gonna have to do without. But anyway, with Spyro, I'm excited. We're finally done with Peacekeepers, and we can move on to the Magic Crafter's home, and this is when I really feel like the game starts to develop its own personal, unique flavor, like I've been talking about this entire time. I'm gonna talk to our balloonist, and I'll talk more about it in the loading screen. Yeah. And we can go to Magic Crafters. Anyway, the Artisan world was, yeah, not uninspired, but expected, you know. It's not like the game's gonna do anything too crazy when you're first starting out, trying to ease into the game. Peacekeeper's world was a little dull. The game's still teaching you its own tricks. The Magic Crafters is when the game stops pulling those punches. And we're going to see a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of creative things, lots of creative layouts, creative music. It's just, everything picks up from here and doesn't stop. So, let's get going. Already we have an egg thief to catch, so we'll do that as quick as we can. There we go. And a couple more gems back here. And everything about Magic Crafters I just really enjoy. Everything's just so weird and wacky, and we'll get even more weird and wacky as we go through these worlds. And by the way, we have 300 gems and 3 dragons to have, and 2 eggs in the Magic Crafters home before we even touch any of the levels. So, Cosmos.
Welcome to Magic Crafters. I want you to release the dragons, reclaim our treasure, and recover the eggs from those pesky blue thieves.
So yeah, like with Peacekeepers, to leave Peacekeepers we had to save a certain amount of treasure. To leave Magic Crafters we have to save a certain amount of eggs. And what's funny about this is that we already have enough eggs to leave. We could just completely leave this place right now and never touch any of the levels. We have enough. But we won't do that, because the levels in Magic Crafters are some of the funnest in the game, and some of the most memorable as well. So we have another egg thief to catch here. This guy's kind of wily. There we go. These guys are weird. I don't really know what they are. Anyways, like I said, some of the levels in Magic Crafters are some of the most memorable. If you played Spyro before... Oh yeah, these druid guys, I should talk about them. They alter the land around them in various different ways, and they're sort of a pain. Now, I did this while I was practicing. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it again, but basically the way these things work, we've seen them before. You flame them and the gems pop out. But see that top part that spins? Well, that actually flies off as well. And if you do it right, you can actually have that hit enemies, and they'll die. And God, I did it while I was practicing, completely on accident. I don't know if I'm ever going to do it again. Haha! I actually never knew that about Spyro until I practiced these levels earlier to make sure I could record them without completely fucking them up. It's a neat thing. So there's a weird little cave over there. We should go there right now, just so I can show you guys what's in there. Oh, that was really close. We cut that really close. So there's a save in here. That's all that's in here. We're gonna have to find a key later. And Magic Crafters introduces a couple of new concepts into the game that we'll see for the rest of the game. They eventually become staples of a lot of the levels that we see later. This dragon will tell us all about it.
When you see arrows like these, you can charge along with them to begin a supercharge.
Supercharge? Excellent.
Go ahead, try it.
So yeah, supercharges are very important, and we'll see them a lot in the levels to come. Basically, you just go super fast, you're invincible while you do it, and you can do all sorts of things. You can... oh, well, if I didn't... It's a little bit wily and hard to control. Whoa! Okay, I guess we're here now. By the way, the key is here. Didn't mean to supercharge all the way over here, but... oh, yep. Okay, we're gonna have to heal Sparks now. Where are those little things that the butterflies come out of? Anyway, we still have to do some more supercharging. Anyway, so we'll come back to that later. This is where the flight level is, and According to this dragon, this is the first flight level we're supposed to see, because he tells us about them.
This portal leads to a special place where you can learn to fly. I remember when I was a young dragon, earning my wings.
Learn to fly. Got it.
So yeah, I guess we weren't supposed to know about those before. Well, to be fair, the one in the artisan home is sort of hidden, so... Yep. If you're not supercharging that guy, we'll just build the wall in front of you. So, if you're supercharging, you go fast enough to stop him. But we missed him the first time, so what do we know? So while supercharging, you can break these things open and get whatever's inside. Let's see. We're still missing plenty of gems. But yeah, if we talk to this balloonist right now, after taking care of the gems over here, still don't know what these things are. Yep, that's all the gems we have over here. Gotta time this right. Almost didn't, but everything worked out. So yeah, we could leave right now. We recovered so many of our dragon eggs. Hop aboard for the Beastmaker's world. But we're gonna stay here, of course. We wanna... That's actually a thing. I haven't watched any, like, successful Spyro speedruns, so I'm wondering what levels you skip, if any. Well, obviously you skip some for it to be a speedrun. Like, what worlds you skip, I suppose, because by this point, the eggs are easy to get if you know where they are. So, Magic Crafters might be the easiest world in the game to skip. Just be collecting the eggs and dragons in each level, and you're probably good to go by this point. So we have that key, so we'll head back to the safe, open that up. Not gonna have all the gems that we need, but it'll have a fair number. Alright, or did it have all of them? Yeah, it did. Alright, so we are done with the homeworld. And the first level we're gonna hit is Wizard Peak, because there's just something I really want to talk about in Wizard Peak. It's just, it's a funny story. Also, Wizard Peak has probably one of the most memorable songs in the game. When I was talking about the jaunty organ before, this is it. Oh yeah. Also, this level introduces a lot of basic supercharge concepts that we'll see in the other Magic Crafters world, and especially the Beastmaker's world. Again, I might be hyping up treetops a bit too much, but really, it really was the bane of my childhood. I fucking hate treetops. Oh, let's not... Some gems over here. By the way, Wizard Peak is a large level. 500 gems, 2 eggs, and 3 dragons. So plenty to do in Wizard's Peak. And one of the funnest levels as well. It's just enjoyable to romp around in. So after I save this dragon, there's not a lot that's going to be going on in Wizard's Peak until we hit a couple large supercharge ramps. So that's when I'm going to talk about the story that I've been hyping up a little bit. Jarvis, by the way.
Welcome to Wizard Peaks. This is my favorite supercharge spot. Use it to bash those wizards.
Yep, we can take care of the wizards while supercharging. Anyway, a funny thing about the music in this stage. I mentioned it was memorable. Well, it might be memorable for another reason, and I feel like saying too much will kind of diminish the surprise. So, I'm just gonna keep quiet, and you can hear for yourselves. So yeah, kind of a weird thing, huh? It's just bizarre. There was a reason for it. See, Stuart Copeland didn't just work on Spyro and be the drummer to the Police, he also did a number of other things. Being film and TV scores. And he'd had a brief stint working for some of Nickelodeon's intellectual properties. The two I can think of off the top of my head is doing the film score to Good Burger, of all things, and doing the music for The Amanda Show. And that involved, of course, the credits to The Amanda Show. So, he just straight up used Wizard's Peak as the credits theme, and I just think that's hilarious, for one. Just reusing a past song, because who's gonna notice? Stuart Copeland, smart guy. Works smarter, not harder. And because Stuart Copeland did so many things with film and TV, I do want to know, what other things did Spyro leak out into, if any?
Thank you for releasing me.
Yeah, a lot of them still say that. Anyway, I don't have his page open right now, but on Stuart Copeland's Wikipedia page, he does have a list of things he did, and he did a lot of things. I know for a fact that he has a anthology album, the Stuart Copeland anthology. And how do you do that? That was weird. And he has a song from Spyro listed as Rain. It's this name of the song in Spyro is Jacques, and we'll see it in the Dreamweaver's home. But on this anthology item, it's just retitled Rain, and it's the same song. So yeah, haven't really listened to the Good Burger score, but who knows? Maybe I should. Maybe I'll find something. And like I said earlier, Wizard Peak does have a lot of really neat supercharge opportunities and supercharge ramps, and makes you think a little bit creatively with how you're supercharging. That egg guy doesn't even attempt to run. Let's head back here. And we have 375 gems, but we're still 100 and a few off from our goal. And there's an entire area of the stage we haven't even touched yet. Oh, got a little hurt, but we did get the egg, so I suppose it's okay. More of these things. 2 at once, there you go. And there's our last dragon of the stage. We need to heal up Sparks again. We're getting hit more and more often. This dragon's kind of funny, actually, if it's the one I'm thinking of.
Listen carefully, Spyro. There's a secret area in the Artisan Home. It is at the waterfall. Try jumping on the stones there.
Artisan Home, waterfall. Sounds good.
So yeah, I suppose we sequence broke a little bit. We weren't actually supposed to know about Sunny Flight back in the Artisan Home until now. We were supposed to go back. It's sort of weird in this game because nothing else really does that. You're not really gated by your knowledge at any other point. So I'm wondering if they had a couple more things that were cut, you know, that would test that. Why am I going up here? Yeah, I suppose now's the time. There is a section of the level, like I said, we haven't even gone to yet. I do want to save our progress here, so if we die we can come back, because it's very easy to fall off the edge in these places. I have to go all the way back to the beginning of the stage. And here we go. Turn to the left here, and oh, what's this? Whole nother area. And is actually how we get to those wizards that jumped up top to those high ledges that we can't jump to. And how we get to a couple of them is sort of devious. Like that one over there. Pop up behind him, doesn't know what's going on. Stealth mechanics in Spyro. Ain't better than the RPG ones in Shadow Legacy. A couple people posted GIFs of that game, or one person posted GIFs of that game in the thread, and goddamn, it just looks bad. Looks terrible. I've never been a fan of pre-rendered backgrounds in like platformer RPGs and stuff like that, because you just get stuck behind things all the time and you don't know what you collide with, and oh, it's terrible. So we have this other top bit over here, and hopefully that's it. I mean, we probably missed a few gems somewhere, but I don't know. Yeah, we probably missed gems. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm surprised I haven't just careened off the edge yet, because that's very easy to do. Yeah, I think that's all of them. Hot dog, we are done with Wizard Peak. So we have to say goodbye to the Amanda Show theme. And we're probably going to hit Alpine Ridge next, because I like Alpine Ridge. We can speed ramp down here. You don't know how many times I fell off the edge while practicing this. I'm surprised I haven't died yet. And let's return home. So Alpine Ridge is next, and Alpine Ridge is a lot like Stone Hill or Clifftown, in that it has a large other area that may seem unexplorable at first, but is actually fully explorable and able to be interacted with. It's what I like about the exploration in Spyro a lot. You get a lot of these areas that just seem to be in the background, but no, you can actually go there, because gliding and mobility is a large part of the game. And what I love about the supercharge ramps is that it adds even another level of mobility that you didn't have before. I don't believe there are any supercharge ramps in Alpine Ridge, but they are definitely in high caves, and we'll see them a lot in levels like treetops, in the Beastmaker's home, and Twilight Harbor, the Nork Nexus, and, well, we couldn't really do anything about that. That actually reminded me of a bit about the controls that I just completely neglected to mention when we were first starting out with these. Because I never do them. I completely forgot they existed, because why would you ever use this? Because normally my fingers are on the L2 and R2 buttons to easily control the camera. But if my fingers, say, slip into R1 or L1, you roll. And it's not really that useful. In fact, I believe it was cut out of Spyro 2 and 3. Because it's just so easy to just careen off the edge. By the way, Alpine Ridge is probably one of the more underrated songs in the game. I like it a lot. So yeah, this is the classic sloped staircase trick. Those little druid guys that controlled land, they are a pain. They're in every level in Magic Crafters. Unfortunately, we don't see them again after that.
Spyro, you're not afraid of those big, noisy, gigantic, awful beasts, are you?
Of course not.
I didn't think so.
One thing I should mention about Spyro is that he is voiced by Carlos Alazraqui. And that name may or may not sound familiar to you. He did a lot of other cartoons in the 90s. Most notably, I suppose, he was the voice of Rocco in Rocco's Modern Life, and the voice of Spunky in the same show. He was also the voice, I believe, of the Taco Bell Chihuahua. That was actually pretty good timing, by the way. We could have easily hit that ledge as he was lifting it up. But anyway, he was also the voice of the Taco Bell Chihuahua, Yo Quiero Taco Bell, stuff like that. And he was only in Spyro 1 as the voice of Spyro. Spyro 2 upped the voice talent a little bit, and Spyro is then voiced by Tom Kenny. And, you know, everyone knows Tom Kenny. He did a lot of stuff. SpongeBob, the narrator from the Powerpuff Girls, the mayor from the Powerpuff Girls, Ice King, everyone knows.
Oh, thank you for releasing me.
He sounded exasperated, like it took us long enough to get to him. Well, sorry, dude, I have things to do. People to see. People to see that aren't you. Anyway, yeah, everyone knows Tom Kenny. If you don't know Tom Kenny, you're lying. You probably do and don't know it. He's in pretty much everything. I wonder actually who has the longest IMDb page of any voice actor. Like, Tom Kenny's... Jesus Christ, those roars. I want to say Tom Kenny's probably in the running, but who knows, maybe there's just some anime dubber that does a bunch of old anime that I just don't know about. Because there are a lot of bad animes. Don't know if you know that. So yeah, Alpine Ridge has a lot of sequestered away caves and stuff like that. It's easy to miss stuff. I say that in a lot of levels, and I mean that in a very good way. It's easy to miss stuff. There's a lot of stuff to explore, a lot of stuff to find. and that's what I like. I like stuff like that. And it was a staple of these sorts of platformers in the mid to late 90s, and not something that's been really recreated since, which is a shame.
Great work, Spyro. If you keep this up, you'll learn all the tricks of the Magic Crafter world.
Thanks for not telling me any of them, jerk. You kind of teased it a little bit. Was hoping to get some hot info, but you know, never mind. So we could easily go back to the beginning of the stage, but we don't want to do that yet. There's still a couple of things for us to do. Now remember when I mentioned those fireworks things? If you flame them, they explode, and the explosion does hurt you. Oh, well, that thieves guy's going on without us. Sorry.
Remember that these blue thieves haven't stolen eggs only in the Magic Crafter world. Don't worry, I'll take care of them.
We've already taken care of them. We've taken care of all of them. In fact, the Magic Crafter's world is the last world in which these blue thieves appear. After that, they're just not around anymore. Oh. Knocked into his dead body. Whoops. Did we get all the gems in this little pathway? I hope so, because I'm leaving. Anyway, that was weird what I bumped into there. Those fireworks things, they explode, and the explosion hurts you. And these little platforms, where they are, the explosion is actually larger than the platforms they're on. So you do have to be careful with how you approach them. You gotta get off really quickly. It can be a little tricky if you're not really good at controlling the camera yet, which by this point you probably should be. So we still have a few gems to go. And, like I said before, Stonehill and Clifftown had those areas where that didn't initially seem explorable, like the top pit of, wow, I'm having huge brain farts right now, Stonehill, there you go, or the part over the river in Clifftown. Well, here in Alpine Ridge, there's this little area that's not hard to get to, but might be a little tricky to get to. Because it might look like you can glide from here, but you do have to jump up on this ledge, and then you'll have just enough to make your way over. And we'll have these weird snow wizards again, and these weird druids again, that I can't do anything with. I gotta get far enough away, and then just bum rush him. Because apparently he's nearsighted, or something. Maybe he's just blind. What are these snow wizards? Magic Crafters is kind of this snowy mountain sort of aesthetic, which is, you know, better than the oranges and browns that we saw in Peacekeepers, so I'm all for it. I'm just gonna let you scream and run around for a bit while I do this. And there we go. We're missing 5 gems. That's gonna be a pain to find, isn't it? Where could they be? Well, time to go hunting. I was worried this was gonna happen. But, what can you do? Where could they be? Well, the thing about Spyro is that when you go through the levels a second time, you realize they aren't actually too big. Obviously, these levels we're going through now are a lot bigger than the ones we saw earlier. Especially in the Artisan Home. Like, this is probably 10 Dark Hollows. Aha! There we go. Glad that wasn't too painless, and it was on our way to the exit anyway. So we are done with Alpine Ridge, we'll hit the flight level next, and then finish up with High Caves and the boss level. 4,300 gems. How about it? So